We're playing second edition. I've got the magic domain for my cleric, and I'm casting fireballs. Fuck you.
Oh, speaking of leveling up, at some point in time, I'm gonna disappear from the world of civilization for a few days. Final Fantasy VII Remake drops tonight at midnight.
Ooh.
Oh.
And apparently they're saying it's like a minimum of 100 hours of gameplay just to get out of the first city.
That's our opening shot, by the
damn.
way, is Matt going, there's a video game out. Well, that just clicked this video feed. Thank you. And they're all gone now to play your video game. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Just to prove we're regular schmoes, talking about all kinds of things from politics to video games, but mostly off the air. We got this joke going where we bleed into the feed while we're still talking. I had a great guest on Attack of Opportunity, David J. Bishop, not David Bishop, the UK artist that does the Doctor Who and Judge Dredd comics, but David J. Bishop from UK that does Life on the Fourth Floor comic, a great Friends series comic, which has a lot of them playing D&D in it. And I've never had a guest open up, and I'm going, okay, be quiet, here we go. We go through the thing, and he's like, test, and he goes, 1, 2, toast. Toast, like in a Mission Impossible. And it's like, dude, we're going to get along. So now every opening and every close is going to have a little bit extra, a little bonus. So look for those from now on, at the beginning, at the end, and very end, possibly after the music, kind of like a Marvel movie. At the end of any of our games or video games or audio, there'll always be a little something extra there. Hello, everyone. We are back. Episode 10.
Holy crap, we've gone double digits.
On Mummy's Mask, that's a thing.
Wow.
We spent a year, and I went through 50 people trying to launch this 4 years ago, and it never relaunched. We launched, and it's cursed. I'm telling you, this game is cursed. So many people, problems. We've rotated cast. Yeah, it's a lie. They just can't do it anymore. But we're back. We're new cast members and stuff. So in the house we like to call him the star of the show, just because we just love this character, but in the house playing Old Man Arif, the Cloistered Cleric of Pharasma, from the neighboring country of Katapesh. Frank Hamilton's here tonight.
Hey, everybody. What's going on?
His right-hand man, or, well, left hand, well, someone missing one hand.
I'm going to get a hook.
Playing the Katapeshian Suli, also from the neighboring country. Does anyone venture from here anymore? Like just, shop local or something? No? Okay.
Well, it's a very funny story.
Matt
We'll
Witt
get
is
into that later.
Yes, Matt Witt is in the house tonight.
Hello, everybody.
Returning for his iconic role, mastered, rebooted, the Riverman is back. Designation Android R3N. Ryan Messina is in the house tonight.
Hey, everybody.
And a cameo from someone special. Possibly, if they get to him. But in the meantime, until we get to his character, if they even bother getting to his character, he's very comfortable as a rules lawyer. Mr. Joe Gibson is in the house tonight.
Hello.
So
Yay.
he's in the grass. So
I'm hiding.
Yeah. In the oasis. So when last we left our adventures, you guys had fought like babes in Toyland. I kid you not. Right?
No, it's a reenactment of Robin Williams' Toys.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, I thought it was the Nutcracker Suite.
I got something. So it leaves you with a room. And this room has a dismantled, remantled golden chariot, a gigantic ivory chest, funeral masks, god masks on the walls, a wall with animal skins, trophies, shields, whole bunch of crates, and this diorama table that you believe the little action figures, because Rob says they're not dolls. That's actually the name of the last episode. It's action not dolls, action figures. He was so pleased I named the episode after him. Guys, what do you do next? What's the plan here?
Well, I'm going to try and figure out a way to get Old Man Arif back to the entrance so I could do some proper looting.
Give him paper and charcoal and just remind him of the fiasco that the rubbing he needed.
Oh, yeah, the fresco in the hallway.
I was kidding. That's not DM manipulation. I just blah, blah, blah.
Good call.
No.
Thanks, mysterious voice in my head.
Right?
Sorry. When you're talking as a player, not as a character,
No, you know what? I wouldn't actually do that. But I will try and take whatever I can without him finding it. So let's do a thorough search of the room with the toys.
It's important to catalog everything, right? I have no issues with that at all. Yes, and some things should be taken back just to preserve the antiquities of the place, because who knows who's going to stumble in after us once the doors are open.
That's true. In this current, now the room kind of has three sections. There's the first room you entered, this kind of narrow hallway that Arif is standing in, and the android is in the entrance with the Suli deep in the room with the crates, and the wall hangs everything. So in the current corner is the table with a three-dimensional diorama. On the north side of the room above you, there are 3 shields with different designs are displayed upon a rack against the east wall. There are various weapons on another rack on the south wall. And arrayed around the room are 5 small chests and clay urns. And that's just sort of like this cubby. So did you want to start there with your search? As for cataloging, I guess you really can't take selfies, you know, old man Arif with the funeral mask kind of thing. So,
1, 2, 3. All right, well, I'm going to go back. Did we check the chest in the... Yes, we did. In the chariot room, didn't we?
No, you guys skipped it. You guys went, nope, we'll do this later.
Okay. So then I'm going to go back to that. Check
Okay.
it for traps.
Okay.
All right.
Perception.
That's from me, unless you want to take 20.
I'll take my 20.
Okay. Well, so what's your bonus?
We got nothing but time.
Sure.
Perception bonus of +4.
Okay. So 24. So going back to the brightly painted chariot that sits in the chamber beyond the chariot, large canvases stretching between 2 stone columns, several skins of animals, antelopes, great cats, crocodiles, a wooden chest, lacquered white. Sorry, not white. Did I say white ivory? It's a wooden chest, lacquered in white and trimmed with gold inlay. Sits in this corner in front of you.
Ooh.
Yes. And in the corner of the room are small stone shield. It's molded in masonry and it's at shoulder height. And then there's the hallway that opens up. So starting with the chest, you take your 20, your 2 minutes, and you slowly, meticulously check over it. While he's doing that, R3N, what are you up to?
I am just searching the room. You mentioned there were shields on the wall.
I did.
I would wish to inspect the shields.
Okay. And Arif.
The funerary masks that I think were right here.
Mhm.
I'm gonna take a look at those.
Okay. Now,
And this will probably be one of the items I try to take back with me intact, because this seems relatively interesting,
Mhm.
and it would make for a good display.
now
So I'll see if I can get it off without.
yeah, they're
damage.
very large. They're the size of a shield themselves. I believe we did
Oh.
some religion checks, and you identified either 2 out of the 4 or 3 out of the 4 as gods, as sort of an ancient, stylized sort of Easter egg or the voodoo mask kind of styling of a god, because you recognize Pharasma and Anubis, and then there was another, and I think there was either the 3rd or 4th you couldn't quite figure. You can, you know, they're mounted in a permanent fashion, but not something where you can't sort of chip away, or, you know, they're not there hung for easy take off a bolt, you know what I mean? But it's not so hard with a little, you know, chip kind of thing to remove them. I wouldn't say you'd be damaging the hanging on the walls enough that you'd be like violating the code the Phrasmite set down. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Especially if it's to recover priceless artifacts.
Yeah.
Or future historical research.
Well, if it doesn't look like it comes off the wall easily, I'll leave it there. We can always come back for it.
Okay. So, the shields. Let's have a look at this here. The shields.
Which wall are they located on?
On the east wall, all the way to the right of the map there, behind those chests there. And on the south are some weapons. So, arms, armor. You see weapons, servals, swings, where's the shield? There is a steel shield that's shaped like an insectoid, in your opinion. with the sort of carapace of the shell split into two sections, which makes up the shield itself, all stylized, carved into solid steel. And some of the others could possibly... The craftsmanship really varies on these shields. One's made of wood and almost looks like someone just cut a hole in a door. Like it's, slots with rivets and two slats on the back and a handle, and there's some sort of like war paint splat on it,
Right.
And it's all beat up. And then there's this steel shield that looks like some kind of bug. And then another shield that is somewhere in between. It's well made, but it is a wooden shield that's been lacquered for reinforcement and such.
All right. I examine the center shield, the steel one that's shaped like a bug.
Okay. Do you have knowledge nature?
No.
Okay. Let's have a quick look here. It is...
Insectoid.
It's a light steel shield.
Ooh.
Fashioned after some sort of beetle insectoid creature.
I take it off the wall.
Okay.
And when I do that, I kind of give it a little flex.
Okay.
Sorry,
appraise?
I attempt.
Yeah, appraise.
Yeah. Praise. $13.
Nice.
Yeah, this is of masterwork quality. For the, primitive metals that they have here on the surface mudball planet, blah, blah, blah. But for them, what I mean? This is actually very well made, very durable.
And it's still in good condition?
It's actually in excellent condition.
Oh.
Despite, from what you know, this is supposed to be being sealed down here for hundreds of years. It's actually in quite good condition. It's not rusted at all. The leather component or whatever, like on the back, might have started peeling and fading away. But the actual handle, the brace, the shield itself is completely intact.
Master Arif,
Yes?
would it be unorthodox in your culture if I were to repurpose this shield?
Well, necessity does oftentimes outweigh practicality. But, do what you will. Just know that if any damage comes to it, it's a piece of history that simply cannot be regained.
Well, perhaps if you were to document it before I were to equip it.
And I guess that's a fair compromise for now, yes. If we are to take some things from here, we should be trying to see if we can't get them back to the churches for appraisal. Perhaps they could trade us things in exchange of values. Yes.
I broker no argument with this. This is only a temporary measure until I can have my shield returned to me.
That would certainly be a good bargaining chip.
Yes.
Here's a priceless piece of your culture for my shit back, yeah.
So then, yes, we'll make sure that we kind of document its condition and where it was, the things that it represents. Yes.
Yes.
Interesting. Every piece has a story to tell if we just learn enough about them.
Query about this culture. Were insectoids venerated?
Well, many religions, across the face of Galerion, often pay homage to creatures and things of totems of certain sorts. They appreciate the tenacity or the ruggedness of certain animals or creatures, and then oftentimes they bring them forth in a stylized manner. So it's not uncommon, yes.
Interesting.
Arif.
Yes.
The shield that he holds, do you have nature, religion, or...
Yes. As a matter of fact, I know a little bit about many different kinds of subjects.
Okay. Can I have a religion
let's
check and a nature check?
Sure. Let's see here. Let me scroll down my list of knowledges. So knowledge religion got a 25.
The beetle that is on the shield is a very common beetle. It is known in Osirion culture and used quite a lot. It is a scarab beetle. Now, religiously, a blue scarab beetle was the sign of Krepi, Khepri, Krepi the humble hand, which back then was the god of freedom, rising sun, and work. And this god actually didn't have a face. He literally was portrayed as, you know how the ancient gods were anamorphic. They had like the human body, but some kind of animal head, right? This guy had a human body, a human head, but the face was a full beetle. Almost like he wore a beetle mask, but that actually was his face. Like a beetle was stuck on his face.
Yes, the gods of old were often terrifying to look upon. But it was the things that they represented that more often than not brought veneration. The shield there, if you see by the flakes of blue worked into it, the working man's god, I would assume, Krepti.
Now, from a religious standpoint, if there is a connection, it's likely him. And his symbol was a blue beetle. And the shield is metal. It might have a blue sheen to it, but it's not, painted with any obvious religious symbol like it's painted blue or anything. Sorry for, but he was asking for a connection. It's like, well, there's this one god, the blue beetle, the common man's, god, freedom and work and, that kind of thing.
Well, it could have been enameled. You don't know.
It's true. That's true. Sorry.
Wave the voices away in my head.
Could have been that. So
it's my narrative, and I'm clearly telling it. So.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't set you on the wrong path with your check there, Father Arif. So, yeah, onto the weapons rack. Kick it over some crates. What else do you guys want to do in this room?
Still waiting to see if I can open a chest.
I know.
And as each person kind of does their little thing, if they will allow, I will gladly help them with their skill and drop useless knowledge over their shoulder.
Okay. The way this is written, I kind of want to do like one room at a time. So it's like, well, this was going on, all this stuff, less interrupted, right? So back to the chest. You do find a trap.
Ooh.
Yes.
Very good.
A poison blade trap. A second seam right near the lid that when you try to, pick the lock and lift the lid, right above the lock, which is buried in the, it looks like an extra depression, like a little lip. You know how they have a seam and then they kind of carve away a little kind of chink in the center. It's like, oh, I'll get my fingers in there, right? That's deceptive. A blade will slash out poison and, get you.
Okay. Well, I shall make an attempt to disable this.
Okay. That's a straight up roll for you, sir. 10. Let's talk about disable device, the skill, and what we know about it. It's a great skill. Failure means nothing happens. Failure by 10 or more? Possibly. Quite possibly. Disarming a check. Fairly simple. Yada, yada, yada. If you fail the check by 4 or less, you can fail but try again. If you fail by 5 or more, something goes wrong. Device is a trap, you spring it. So whilst trying to delicately disarm the trap, it goes off.
Oh no.
Yes, but because you are aware of it, I will allow you a reflex save because it's going to happen. Like, I got to be careful this shit isn't going to spring out at me. And it does, and you're like, ah!
23.
And you can add, now do you have the trap sense ability where you add pluses to reflexes against traps?
I do not. I don't think I do anyways.
Okay.
Oh my.
20.
Oh, I do. I have trap finding.
Yeah, well, it's trap finding. And,
that's just finding.
And then
yeah,
there's a
never mind.
sub-ability trap sense. Okay.
Yep. No, I don't have that.
So, there's that ominous click, shit, and you just kind of like drop the picks and splay the hands, and the blade comes out and just oh so narrowly misses your little fingers. A razor sharp envenomed blade would have stuck into the hand of the would-be thief that tried to attempt to pick this lock.
It missed only because the hand was missing.
Nice.
Yeah, really, eh?
Oh, my head. Oh, wait, it's gone.
Yeah.
Hey! Oh, some things are very much a blessing in disguise.
So, with the trap sprung, Matt, what's your next move? Search for more traps? Devious Osirians, or just pick the lock?
I'll pick the lock.
Okay, go ahead. Another disabled device roll to pick a standard lock.
19.
No. But with a lock, you can try again.
Well, then I will try again. Oh, this is frustrating. First I nearly stabbed myself, and now I really wish I had my hand back. 18.
So meanwhile, there's also weapon racks, guys. Do you care to have a look at the weapons while he's just... Keep rolling there. I'm sure you'll get it sooner or later, buddy. Let me know. You guys want to move on to something else in the other room there, guys?
You could take a 20.
How about a 22? Does that succeed?
Click. There you go.
Oh, Master Arif, I've gained entry. Be very careful of this blade. It is poisoned. Perhaps you should catalog this while I move on to opening some of the others.
Okay. Can I have a perception check, boys?
All right.
Natural 1 for a 5.
Just flips
As
the
he
lid.
points at the blade,
Yeah.
stab.
Yeah. Well, no, it was more like he flips the lid, right? And is very excited about what's inside.
28 perception.
He seems to miss the fact that the actual chest is beautiful, and if undamaged, could be worth something as an art piece.
Oh. And as I approach it, oh, good Lord. This thing, it is beautiful. Somehow we managed to overlook that in our haste the first time round. I wonder if perhaps the chest would make a good container for a mask or something, and then we could just make haste out and get some supplies.
As I said, Master Arif, be very careful of the poison blade.
Did you guys want to praise it?
Yeah.
I'm feeling heavy-handed going, praise,
Nope.
you know.
I'll leave that to Arif, and I will move into the other room and start working on the other chests.
Okay.
24 praise.
Okay. This could fetch 200 gold as an art piece. Inside the chest, Arif, you want to dig out all the stuff here?
Yeah, cautiously.
Okay. 3 vials and 2 books with thin gold-plated metal sheets for pages.
I will
I think he's visibly
obviously examine the books
I think he's
first.
visibly crying. You just see the trembling hands.
A tome of infinite wisdom and Agma's know-all. Wait, Agma's not in this world.
Actually, how about a history check from you, sir?
Yes. All right, so let me scare that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, local history. 22.
The first book, you examine it carefully, and from what you can tell of title and cover page without getting into too much detail, appears to be a brief biography on Akintempi himself.
Oh, good Lord! I will. This appears to be a journal about Akintempi himself. Perhaps something valuable could be gained here about the construction, or it's just the history itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll start leafing through it quickly, and then set it aside.
Okay.
And pick up the second, see if it is also of use.
The second, waiting for your roll. History, praise, whatever you want to do.
Okay. I lost it. It's not. There it is. 17.
Is Oh, this appears to be a list and description of various military campaigns conducted by the nation of Osirion between the years 2350 and 2450 AR. The books are heavy because they're made out of steel and gold leaf pages and weigh 25 pounds each.
Good lord.
And
Right back into the chest they go.
look quite valuable as far as, not just historically, but, the way they're made.
Right?
So heavy you can only carry one at a time.
Oh, I'm sure you can carry
Something
more
like
than
that,
25 books, right? And Arif came down the mountain with the 25-pound books of...
With these 2 massive tablets.
Yeah. So
I've got an 8 strength. I can manage.
You got it. You got this.
All right. And you said some vials of something?
Yep.
Any marks or anything like that?
No, but you notice though, although the vials are all identical, you notice that the cap or cork, the ancient method isn't as good as modern. Now, it works in the way that it will keep this stuff sealed. Of that, you have no doubt. However, you can tell these were sealed a long time ago because right around the edges of the stopper, the fluid has sort of bled up and discolored the cap. But it's almost like an indicator. Because the vials are so heavily thick, it's, the fluids look murky. But there's a reddish amber tint to 2, which may indicate they're the same thing, and another one that has just sort of turned the stopper a darker color like black.
Okay. Is there any way I can identify these?
Yep. You want to detect magic, appraise on objects? 2 things you guys...
I can't...
I figured you guys would be lighting up the room going, detect magic everything, appraise everything, and then kind of get into the history and jumps and stuff, but we keep jumping in the juicy history, and I feel bad they keep going, basics, appraise, this, blah. I'm going to stop doing that.
The priorities. History first. Cultural significance. All right, so cast detect magic, and then I will appraise as needed based off those.
3 vials, and the shield the android is holding radiate magic.
All right, so round 1, magic in the room. Round 2, number. Round 3, this. Oh, and the shield too. That could be remarkable. Ren. And what school are the potions radiating?
The potions would be some sort of necrotic, something necromancy, or something divine, or a bit of a mix.
I would like them to be conjuration.
And the other one, actually, the black one is actually transmutation.
All right.
The other 2 seem to be a sort of a necrotic divine mix. And back in the other room.
Okay.
The other containers there, guys, and the weapons rack.
I'll start working on the chest in the top right-hand corner.
Okay. You guys are opening boxes, and sometimes there's just like armor sitting in rotted straw, but the armor is, somewhat functionable, or something that's just rotted away, but it was once decorative, like parade armor of the day, that kind of thing, right?
Right.
There's a lot of stuff that looks mundane, but it's dated for the period, so it's kind of interesting. Whatever wood they use for a spear or whatever, this type of thing, blah, 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 right? However, you notice that there is a copish sword. Now imagine a long sword that comes out, the blade comes out halfway, and then suddenly turns into a crescent shape at the end. So half the blade is straight, and it turns into like this sort of hook or crescent blade at the end, and that's a copish sword, which you guys know because Suli, this is a very common sword in the area as well as Katapesh.
They're still around.
Oh yeah.
All the guards carry one?
Yeah, like even modern guards. Even local knowledge from Arsuli.
6 on our way
from
in.
Arsuli. Yeah.
That is a raw intelligence roll for me, so here you go. 13.
even Pharaoh Kemet III's, the Ruby Pharaoh, the Ruby Prince himself, his risen guard, the Kopish sword, that are forged for them. It's a trademark. It's a country, it's a national pride weapon, that kind of thing. As well are spears, because spear is an excellent weapon to use on a chariot. There's one right in the other room there. And this Kopish sword and the spear are in remarkably good condition for their age.
I'll take them and set them in the center of the room.
Okay.
Floor.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, once I've got the path clear, I'll examine take 20,
Okay.
examine the chest for traps.
Okay. Don't seem to find a trap. However, you notice that the chests themselves have been sealed with wax, which is good because it makes them airtight, and that will help contain and preserve what's in them.
Now, before I start breaking the wax seal, I
Mhm.
will call Arif over,
Okay.
because I'm aware of the mission.
Mhm.
Mr. Arif,
Yes?
these containers, they are sealed with wax. Would it be prudent for me to break the seal?
Generally, no.
You found no gas trap or anything, and this is a way of possibly preserving something that's tarnishable or perishable, Master Arif.
And I'll relay that. Generally, anything sealed is to protect it from the environment, not so much as to create a trap of some kind. It is to protect the contents, like something that's spoilable.
And have not most of the traps been mechanical?
Yes, it was common back in the day to have a mechanical trap, but every now and again you would have a lever or something of the sort that would release a creature.
Well, I have had a thorough look at this chest, and I have not found any traps, but it is sealed with the wax. So I am making sure that I am not going to violate any of the rules of exploration.
We are here to discover, so I suppose it would be okay.
Excellent! And I'll pull my dagger out.
Yeah. Old man Eric. He gets the nod from Dad, right? He just digs right in.
My crowbar of exploration.
Yeah.
Right.
The telltale for the audience, and I can tell this to Arif, is the boxes themselves, the crates, are very plain. You know what I mean? If you guys are willing to disarm a trap of a valuable box and take those books for history, whatever's stored in a plain box, even though it's just very well sealed for the time, it's not sacred body kind of containment kind of thing. If you...
I've got my battle axe of chest opening.
Yeah, right. So, what do we find? Well, guys, you find a sack full of gold and silver.
Ooh, very nice.
Some scroll tubes holding papyrus records.
I'm gonna sleight of hand that bad boy right into my pocket. With a 25.
No, not pouch. Sack. Hey, sack of money, dude. Not pouch of money. Sack of money.
You just Jolly Green Gianted that over your back.
Oh, good gracious me.
Good
gracious me. The fortune we have. Do you understand what these... I may be able to purchase a new hand.
He hasn't even checked to see if it's platinum, gold, silver, or copper. He's just spinning it, 150
just
gold.
wait alone.
Yeah.
Oh, glorious. Surely this cannot be of any significant historical value.
Sorry, show me that one-handed weight check again there, Matt, while being so happy. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
It's just, I thought you were like that. Oh yeah. There you go. He's so happy. Anyway, yep. So he's having a joygasm over this one crate. The weapons, the spear, Kopish, and a couple other things. He put the nice ones down. I'm assuming, just to move this along, guys, as this, it's getting to be a bit of a rinse and repeat. Now, there's more books. There's scroll tubes. There's what looks like to be a ledger.
Oh, I'm giving all
After-
that stuff's getting a read through.
After
All
the
of
initial,
that.
oh god, a big bag of money,
Yeah.
and I look in the chest and see there's nothing more of interest, I'll move
There's-
on to the next.
Yeah, like there's several. I mean, like the book is they're on their ends. You know, like dozens of scroll tubes holding papyrus records, and Arif. Right? No, this is where Arif starts having his joygasm because you find private memos, expense ledgers, speeches, private correspondence.
I'm just going
What?
through
Just-
the fingers got you like lick his thumb to turn the page.
Just turns and looks at us and goes, giggity.
yeah.
All of this fits in the chest, I hope.
Well, it's a whole other chest completely full. Like you guys opened and emptied a full chest. Though I suppose there's room because the items are sunk in it. And then there's like a whole box, like a crate of scrolls. A crate which just had a big sack, you know. Anyway, so assuming that you guys want to take anything of value, can I have some appraise rolls?
Everything
Okay.
of value.
Now this is where some things get tricky. Can I have a knowledge religion roll for the last item, the clay urns?
Okay.
Because you know what
Well-
you know what Assyrians put in urns,
Everything.
Everything, apparently.
including
Their weed.
yep, very important fact. but-
it's their weed stash. 25.
There's a, let's say, a 30% chance, especially if there's a sarcophagus, that there might be internal organs in an urn buried in a tomb, and that is kind of a breach of the rules. If you guys start popping open jars and, you know, guts come out, oops, that's technically disturbing the dead. So you guys should be extra cautious with urns. And this is what Arif knows.
So now kind of an appraisal check or whatever check it takes to identify these. Does this look like those type of canoptic jars?
Because of the time gap, hard to tell. Like I said, from the design and the size, you would give a good 70% chance of the odds of not being. That it's a container, not going to have guts in it. But you are in a tomb.
Someone's got a lot of guts.
Also, sealed with
Well,
wax.
I suppose if I don't see it, then it didn't happen. I say as I go back. I'm going to go back and I'm going to identify the 3 potions. I kind of gave a quick look up
Yeah,
as
sure,
to how
yeah,
to do
yeah,
that, so
yeah.
I don't, because it's been a while. And apparently, you can make a perception check to identify a potion.
Oh,
And
yes.
that's like the tasting to see what it's
Right, but don't you have
So-
to have
so-
used that potion before?
like. It doesn't say that in the rules.
Okay.
Dude's old as sin. Good chance he has.
That's true.
I've seen a few things.
Back in my
I've seen a
drinking
few
days
things.
when we used to like play potion roulette, right? When the church was rich, you know, they just line up potions and drink them like shots, you know.
like shots.
Yeah.
Right?
Remind me when we get to a point where we can do that. For us to do that.
Enlarge and reduces, and just see which one takes effect last.
'Cause that does sound like a lot of fun.
Big
I'm
fun.
sorry, but
Big
that
fun.
like is like every unidentified potion from a campaign goes into a bag, and at the end of the said book, we all sit down and play a game of potion roulette.
Okay, well, you could actually like have
Sounds awesome.
5 cure light wounds and 1 poison, and then shuffle
Or a
the
mirror
deck.
image.
Shuffle
Just
the
keep
deck.
a cleric nearby. I mean,
The poison. Still get a fortitude save, you big wuss. Anyway, sorry. Moving on.
yeah, we'll probably end up doing that with the Age of Ashes game.
Okay. So we've got the chest, some clay urns, a copish sword, potions. Go ahead with those rolls, Frank. A
All right,
sack,
so
a scarab shield, several scroll tubes. There's also a short composite bow and the spear. And then those gold-plated books are, you know, some appraise if you guys want to know like the actual gold value, but and
all right, so let's try appraise first on all the non-magic stuffs.
okay.
Okay.
Now, were you guys willing to pop an urn or two, see what's going on here?
Yeah, we were just waiting for Frank wanted to do some ID, so
Right in the potions.
Yeah. Yeah, so I want to do the non-magics first that we like have in hand where we don't have to crack something open. Does anyone else have appraise?
no.
No.
It's a free skill,
Yes,
guys. Anyone can do it.
Not trained. How's that?
Yeah. No, I want you to be trained
Okay.
because I was going to be the.
I got an
assistant.
18.
Woohoo!
Okay.
Sam.
It's specifically for the short bow.
It's a masterwork composite short bow.
Sweet. So I take the short bow out of my pack, throw it into the pile, put the masterwork composite short bow into my pack to replace it.
Okay.
How do you use a bow, Mr. One Hand?
He
Inquiring minds.
tapes the staff part
Inquiring
to it.
minds.
Just you could push the stump against like the actual wood part and
Yeah, my stump actually has a V groove.
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
How dare you say he can't do something?
But every time he
Yeah,
lets
I did
loose, he
too.
automatically drops the bow because the inertia makes it go flying off the end of the V stump, right? Like he gets one shot and he's got to go retrieve
So-
it.
Believe it or not, I was not always this way. I'm still a little confused, but by the grace of the greatest Pharasma,
Yes.
I am hoping when I awake tomorrow, things will be as they were.
You could always buy one of those gauntlets with the fingers are crimped into that, then you'll have two uses for it. One's the bow.
The permanent handy position.
Yeah. One's for the bow. And one's for alone time.
It's like the G.I. Joe action grip.
Yeah.
The kung fu grip.
The kung fu grip, man.
That bow is clearly worthless. I say, natural one.
Yes, very worthless. That is stuffing in my pack.
To you, old man.
Yee.
All right. So what's next?
Well, if you guys have the balls to pop an urn,
Well, I have the balls to do this.
Nah,
But I will defer to my venerable comrade to make sure that I am not going to violate any of the
So-
rules for looting.
How,
I mean exploration.
thank you. How big are the urns and how heavy are they?
very
I'm
big,
just trying to get a.
very heavy.
This one is liver shaped.
Yeah. Maybe they just peed in it instead of actually taking the kidneys out and putting them in it, and then it's pharaoh pee. No, I could tempt pee.
Oh! You know what? Yeah,
That's good.
That's terrible.
that was very good. That was
I've been
good.
trying. I really shouldn't, as a GM, just like forcing these in here, but now they got one.
No,
in,
that
I'll
was
show.
good. That was good. I like
That's-
that.
Dad jokes.
Thank you. So if I get to go ahead with this urn, you pop it open, and it contains something very oily and something very smelly. But it's a sweet smell. Pleasant. Can I have, well, I guess an actual a crafting check, like an alchemy craft or appraise again, would kind of tell you what it is.
All right. 23 on appraise.
Oh, Arif. I guess even history would work too, right? Arif, this is nard, a very expensive, oily perfume that was used hundreds of years ago. Still made today, but this is like the old way of making it. Modern nard or perfume is little vials and they spritzed it and stuff. But back in the old day, they made this oily stuff and the ladies would, almost
Bathe in it.
football paint, like just slap this oil on a couple of key places, and it's called nard.
So
and it's
I'll relay that.
75 gold pieces worth of expensive oily perfume from hundreds of years ago.
That's kind of what I was afraid of. The liquid inside is a rare kind of an oil that you would apply to yourself, just for social gatherings to make one seem more appealing, especially for religious purposes.
Now, does anybody actually have the Orisaniologist feat, like the actual Orisonologist?
Osirionologist?
Yeah, the Osirionologist.
I'm from space.
I know. I know. And you have like -10 in all the local checks. That's why I just been. But anyone else?
So yes, I do.
Not high.
Okay.
I speak jive.
There's probably little interest to collectors or value to the priest, the paper collection, but to an actual collector or Osirionologist, the documents, like that crate of pages, all the papyrus, right? 250 gold if it's not damaged.
Ooh. So yes, we have to be very, very careful. Incredibly valuable.
I'm assuming our Sully takes the time to count out the gold and silver.
Oh yeah,
No
Playing Lego, right?
Nope.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
doing while they're playing with the other stuff.
It's got it lined up on the diorama table, right? And this stack of silver could be, my chess piece. And this one, 100 gold, 42 silver total.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Obviously, these two have no use for this.
Now, these are obviously minted from a long time ago. So they
What
probably
does it matter?
no. I'm
Minerals
just
are
I'm,
minerals.
I'm just saying it's not just like, oh look, it's like Tuesday gold. No, this is like ancient gold.
Back when they made the good stuff.
No,
Or each coin is worth 2 gold
no.
Yeah.
Not
To
exactly.
a collector.
Maybe.
to a collector. All right, so I will, basically roll through each of the mundane items. Kind of giving a little tidbits of history that I can recall or make up on the spot.
One thing has crossed my mind.
Hmm.
This is a tomb, is it not?
Yeah, yes. Last time I checked.
Aside from the body at the entrance, which had most obviously fallen there, where is the body? I see no tomb here. This is just a collection of things.
Well, you're mistaking. The general layout of a tomb contained up to a dozen to 2 dozen rooms. These were supplies and things like that to take on to the afterlife. You can't expect a pharaoh to arrive in the afterlife with nothing. He'd be a pauper. So oftentimes he would take his most valuable resources or things that he appreciated, servants, things like that, and each would have their own special place so that pharaoh could come and get them at his leisure in the afterlife.
It seems like a waste to me, but their losses are gain. And then I'm going to actually start looking around to see if I can find a door anywhere in here.
Okay. Well, don't forget, you guys, a couple rooms ago, you passed 2 doors that went a completely different direction.
Oh, yes.
Also, might I note, your short bow, the string, is obviously deteriorated. You would need to service this bow. Like, it is serviceable, like it will work, but the string
It's
is
not like I can shoot it anyways
not
right now.
not at the moment. No, I don't want you guys to like be mid combat. You're like, throw me the bow, throw me the whip, throw me the idol. All this shit starts flying around the room, and it's like whoever gets a bow gets screwed because,
Looking around. All right. So where are we at? Everything's identified. We know what it all is.
Yeah. While you
we're-
guys were talking, I'm just making sure certain things are going on certain characters. Like,
Thank you.
Monsters.
yeah, who's
you.
like the potions are in Arif's care. The bow,
Yeah,
the bows.
I've
Who is anyone taking the spear and the sword?
Oh, if they need carrying, I will carry.
Yeah, same here. Anything that I think we should maybe it sounds really lame, but we should make a little bit of a loot pile.
Okay, well, a spear could be used easily by a rogue or anyone, and the Copish sword. I don't know if it's a proficiency, but a military, like with the martial weapon.
It's simple.
Yeah, it's
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 a
a martial
simple
weapon.
or martial weapon.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
probably the paladin. So
It's
just
not exotic.
yeah. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
if you guys don't care and like you get this, at least my advice is make sure that somebody could use it in an emergency.
Quick question though: did the shield get identified?
Oh, we hadn't got it
No.
yet. Sorry.
The magic shield.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
All right, mundane items are over. I was just taking things from here and there. Now he's getting into the magical stuff.
Yep.
So,
All right. So identifying magic item, you need to cast identify.
yep. And perception? You said something about perception for the potions.
It's perception for potions. It's spellcraft for everything else, I believe.
Yes.
So I can.
Oh, and here's my perception for searching for secret doors. An 8.
Nope. Tap.
Very nice.
You can take 20 on that.
Well, I probably will then, if that's the case.
Yeah, well, at least you could say, well, he's identifying potions and stuff. You're tapping the wall and you're, double checking so you don't leave a door behind. We'll leave no secret door behind. It's your new motto, right?
So yeah, I mean, we're not pressed for time, so I'll just
Nope.
take 20s to identify the potions because
Well,
I don't want to be
We are
wrong.
perhaps pressed for time because we were warned to try and not to be in here overnight.
Hmm.
So the potions will take 2 minutes each to identify.
Okay.
2, 4, 6.
Two.
Dark vision and 2 cure light wounds.
Mhm.
Yes, these appear to be a salve or a balm. This other one here, obviously, made with bat eyes.
I walk up to Ren, give an elbow in the ribs. Old man Arif thinks these potions are the bomb.
Yeah, they are the balm. Balm.
balm.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, what
as
about-
he said, they are a bomb.
What about the heavy stuff, like the actual chest and clay urn that are of considerable weight that have to, like, we carry it and you drop it and you pick it up, you know what I mean?
Well, the easiest way would be to take them out to the main chamber where the body is, and then have a rope system of pulleys and draw them up that way. That way we can all apply our own strengths to it, as opposed to one person. Right?
Sure.
Ever the wise and venerable Master Arif. I follow your lead, sir. I do have these, and I'll hold up the hammer and the
Kittens?
pitons.
A piton.
Piton.
Perhaps these could aid us in our endeavor.
It is. It's no engineering marvel to create this thing, but I'm slightly versed in engineering and in building of things, so this should be no problem. Back to the task at hand, though.
Master Arif,
The shield.
there's
Yeah.
2 wheels right there. And I point to the chariot.
Ooh, yeah. So we have some, but it could be damaged. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, I suppose. Yes, but point taken. Yes, point taken.
It is built for war. You could use it like a wheelbarrow to get it to the room. I think the disassembling part is to get it up the shaft, is what they were implying.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Ren's implying you have 2 pulleys here on the wheels.
And 2 wheels and an axle, and
disassemble, and you have like the golden pulley system.
yes,
Yeah.
the world's most expensive crane
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
for us.
And it's half disassembled for whenever you want to, you know. And the last thing it will
All right,
haul will be itself.
So I think the way that you identify magic items is 15 plus caster level,
Mm-hmm.
and I can still take a 20 on this.
Mm-hmm.
So spellcraft will give me 24.
Okay. On the shield, a +1 light steel shield fashioned in the shape of a scarab beetle.
Ooh.
Once
Oh
per
my.
day, on command, the shield can grant its wielder a +2 sacred bonus on saving throws versus fear and death effects that will last for 3 minutes.
Ooh, that's
Ooh.
nice.
That
Mm.
Yeah.
is a
At
sweet.
Any time while this 3-minute timer is up and running, while in this bonus effect, the wielder can instantly end the effect as a swift action by turning that into a burst of healing energy. The wielder loses its saving throw bonus, but is healed 1d8 +3 points of damage.
And this is a once per day?
This is a once per day on command. He can turn the shield on. Boom. So it just goes from the always up +1 to AC, right? He gets a +2 sacred bonus on saving throws versus fear and death. And the timer starts 3 minutes. And any time in that time, whether the very next round or, 2 minutes 59, a appreciable amount of time, he can make it burst on himself as healing energy for 1d8 +3 points of damage.
Healing damage,
Yep.
that is.
Also, Arif, it can protect its wielder from swarms. If a mindless swarm attempts to enter the wielder's space, the shield wards him, and the swarm must make a DC 11 will save.
Oh my god!
So it's like a deterrent, like the bugs.
Dude,
that
I think
don't
that might be
near
better than your old shield.
that
Like
shield is awesome.
epic EMP power from the future and all.
This thing is the shield of raid.
Oh, it gets better.
If they
If they
It gets
fail,
better?
it gets better. If the swarm fails its save, not only will they not enter the square he's in, it will completely ignore the wielder for 3 rounds.
Oh, man.
But if he makes any attacks,
Negates.
Sanctuary.
Oh, it's like a sanctuary, yeah.
well, it's like this effect ends if the wielder makes any attacks, but the wielder may use non-attack spells or other, like, so he could do, stuff. But yeah.
Lay some hands down.
If he starts chopping away at the swarm or tries some kind of burst effect, then then you're
Dude, that shield is burl.
You want to do a praise check?
I don't think I can hit high enough to do that.
Try it anyways, man. Take 20.
Right? If I so I mean seriously, if we're taking
Just so you can
20s,
get the name.
17.
This shield has got to be worth close. I'm not going to give you the exact number of 17, but it's got to be worth well over $4,000, which means you could sell it for 2,000 gold pieces because market value will, Now, speaking of the market, we are literally in a hot market spot where they're going to overcharge for gear and less charge for this and blah, blah, but that will depend on what's going on in the market outside. But, on a foggy, boring day when business is slow, if this thing's worth, 4,400 gold, you guys could just walk around, slap it down in front of the first vendor and walk away with approximately, at least 2,000 gold.
$2,000-ish.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
it could keep. I mean, it's not like there's any swarms in the desert. I mean, it's not like you're going to need a shield. And it's not like, it's not like the paladin needs any kind of protection beyond his tower
Why
shield
would
of
the DM
technology.
give
I'm just saying.
So the rogue can take it away.
It is a small light shield. Pretty much any of you guys can use it. Anyway.
Anyways,
It's a pretty sick little shield there.
Yep.
Pretty
Neat.
right.
So the plan
let's out of character here. Let's gather up the junk and GTFO.
okay.
Yeah, let's gather the junk and at the very least move it to the area. We
Okay.
may not extract it right now.
And you're going to use your new golden wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
We'll take it too.
Yeah.
I mean, for posterity. Yes.
Well, while they're all doing that,
Mhm.
can I work on disassembling this bad boy? I'm probably the closest one that has a mechanical aptitude.
Well, I thought you guys wanted to load it with all this stuff, wheelbarrow it
Yeah,
to
we're
the
gonna
first
load it.
room.
Wheelbarrow it over.
Yeah.
for 50 feet.
Work smarter, not harder.
It's about 100 or so, 150 feet to get to the entrance. It's up to you guys. I just
Yeah,
assumed,
you can
I just assumed you guys were going to put all the shit on the chariot and then push it to
Yep, you can
to where the
either-
body is, and then just like unload, and he can start going to town.
Well,
you,
we
you
can
can
use,
either
we can
push
use
the
the
cart
chariot
or
as
carry it.
as the bucket itself for bringing stuff up. Like the
Oh,
you know what I
You
mean?
want to build
Like
a whole dumbwaiter here.
oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like if it's coming up, it's coming up. We might as well, you know what I mean?
Wait. This could be like we out of character. We don't sell this. This becomes our wagon that we roll around the whole Acropolis in.
like big pimping.
Yeah. I'm thinking we get some ground effects on this.
Yeah, soup it up, put them little knives that come out of the wheels, you know.
Yeah. I'll
All right.
Roll around in your golden chariot of Akim Tempe. Hey guys, what's going on? Everyone's got those smoke goggles.
Just
smoke
roll back
goggles
into
on,
town and
yeah.
be like, ladies, look at my ride.
But because we have no animal burden, it'd have to be Ren that pulls it.
Even better. Riverman is my horse.
All right, let's get out of here.
Ladies.
You guys are killing me.
I'm already coming up with rap lyrics. Just so you know.
See me rolling.
No,
My
it's just like the
chariots.
the guys are rolling through. He's like, not from seed, we grow weed. We're on our way to Estonia. What is this going on with the smoke goggles?
Yeah, no, this will be fun.
Yep.
This is going to be fun.
Sipping gin, not the juice. All right. So, a wheelbarrow is toted with you guys back to the entrance with all this stuff. So the proverbial,
T.M.F.O, and away we go.
appropriate amount of time later, you guys find yourselves with the paladin wanting to disassemble the wheels, and someone's got to climb back up your rope and get, you guys want to start rigging up stuff. You're going to need more rope than just your initial 50 feet that you had for the 60-foot drop. Remember, the rope didn't even come down all the way. You guys are going to have to buy, a couple 100 feet worth of rope to get this working.
We're probably going to have to do an initial foray to get supplies and then come back.
I agree. And fortunately, we have this big old bag of money.
My new child.
Well, you could also just, under your cloak, take something that you've appreciated as a value, because that's only technically 100 gold and 42 silver. There's objects in here that are worth several hundred gold that you just kind of go, this, Anyway, so I'm assuming you guys are looking to get out of here for now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will be kind. I am so happy, and I think it's very cool with this climb check thing. Okay, now that you guys have traversed the danger, if you guys send your best climber up, give me the proverbial DC 15.
It's probably not me, but it might be me.
I don't think it's the paladin.
I got a +2. +2.
Paladin's got minus something. What's your climbing there?
Yeah, actually, I have a +3.
What about
It is the
bonus?
paladin.
what about
It
the
is.
armor?
Figured it would be.
Is it my strength? I don't know. It should be in there. Let me see.
Yeah, climb +3, but your end game. Oh, that's
Yeah,
fine.
it's fun.
It should have.
Yeah, no,
it
I'm
should
looking
have
at
your
it now.
armor. Your armor should give you huge
I
penalties.
will make an
It
attempt.
should.
Oh,
20.
your banded mail isn't equipped.
Nice.
You got to change that to the equip. So now your skills. There you
Mine
go.
should be -6, so it should be -3.
Right. I got a 20 to climb up.
And up he goes.
Okay. Yep. Up he goes. You go out, traversing the. This is the best part. Heading back into town, are we? With your bag of money,
Yes.
all alone.
No.
Okay, you're gonna haul the next. Well, you guys could tie off the next dude, and
Right. That's exactly what we are
you
going
could
to do.
you could literally climb on top of the top edges of your chariot to get that rope, and tie the bow to the end. There's stuff around if you guys don't mind. I wouldn't say desecrating, but using some mundane objects to find a way to gap that 10-foot drop off the 10-foot ceiling, right?
Well, the chariot's 5 feet, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a 60-foot drop, but that includes the space of the room. So it's a 50-foot shaft to the ceiling, and you guys had 50 feet of rope that you tied off. So it's really just kind of cut a skylight in your own ceiling in a room of 10 feet, and the rope's dangling right there. So I don't think it's that much trouble. Not enough for me to slow the game down again after you guys first came down here and all the fun we had. So, but we have Wati Necropolis Encounters. So,
Dun, 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 dun.
yeah, I'm going to use my Wati dice, and I'm going to drop them in my box here.
Percentile. Scream it.
Yep.
Scream it.
There you go. That must have done it.
1%. I rolled 1%.
Oh,
Oh.
shucks.
You know that's going to be good.
Well, there's a
I mean,
there's a 35% chance of you having a random counter, so you're going to have a random counter. Now I get to see.
You know what I call that? Loot.
Now I'm going to see what it is.
1%. The goddess herself.
Yeah. You desecrated that temple. Wow.
They don't all have to be negative encounters. It could be someone showing up to give us an attaboy.
You guys run
This is
run
Pathfinders,
into a
Frank.
watchful priest. So a fellow Pharasmite priest of about 7th level, Frank, with his little troop of 3 guards, encounter you halfway back, and they come and they talk to you about remind you about the desecration. You and the guy do the secret handshake and everything, and
Desecration. No, we're returning these items
yeah.
to the vaults.
No, it's the the go with Pharasma. Don't forget the guy's a senior priest. He's not as old as you, but he outranks you. So they're just
Well, yes, it's not who you know.
Mhm.
It is what you do.
Oh, I thought it was who you blow. Sorry.
It is a priesthood, Matt. It is a priesthood.
He is a lonely, watchful
Yes.
priest. If
Yes,
you
it is.
hey, Matt. Like, just saying, Sully boy. Like 20 gold is 20 gold pieces. Yeah.
Holy crap! I must be very. I must be very good at this if I'm getting 20 gold.
You want to make another 20 gold?
That was almost out the nose.
Hey, little boy.
Oh,
you wanna make
or the old sloppy dragon.
Oh god. Okay, moving on.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I
Moving
actually
on.
won this joke.
Moving on.
Ruined a perfectly good fight encounter. Damn chart. Anyway, all right. So you guys are back outside the gates. You've spent hours down there. You know, it's a pretty productive day, really. What's home base for you guys? Like, because you had a priest, you guys were at the infirmary, but they're no longer, like, they've been cleared of health, so you can't really like go back and hang out in the infirmary. Frank can get a room,
Well,
but you guys need some
We've
place
got
to
some
go.
gold.
Yeah.
Should probably find a place. I personally vote, holding this big giant bag of gold, for the most reputable place in town.
That's full. If they're reputable, they're not going to kick out the guy that played $30 gold for room for your 35. So,
Oh, I didn't say which side of the reputation scale it was on, and I had straight for like the shanty district.
the ASP district.
Yep.
Let's pull up the the map of the city.
Seeing my
I don't even consider any of the places like in the like the noble sectors or even the mercantile sector. I just like straight to shanty town.
Where will I wake up missing a kidney? That place.
Yeah.
time 2 kidneys.
Well, I just saying, Arif.
So now we're gonna split the party.
No, we are not. Of course, you are going to come and drink with us.
Because what we need to do is get wood and timber and tools and build that conveyance like we were talking about. Otherwise, we'll never get those.
That
antiquities to
sounds
the
like a
surface.
job for tomorrow.
What time of day is it, Jeff?
It's about, you guys got up and got in here in the morning, and then we slept in because you guys were incarcerated. Recovering. So I'd have to say it's like, mid to late afternoon. It's not exactly dinner time, but you guys are in that 1 to 4 o'clock mark, because you spent so much time in here.
Twilight is approaching, Master Arif. We
Dude,
do
well-
not want to be caught in the necropolis after dark. I remember this clearly.
We can secure the supplies and then we can come back in the morning. It is, but business first.
Always so wise, Master Arif. Always so
I'll see to
wise.
that, and I'll meet you. Where am I meeting you at?
And what's the name of the seediest place in town?
It's a it's a district. The city of Wati, I'm just trying to get the proper map here, is broken up into different districts, and the shall we say here? Just pull up this map here, okay? The shadiest part of town is, so you guys see the big ring on the map here?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that is the necropolis. It's actually like a quarter of a third of the city, okay? If you guys go north to the river's edge, okay, the center 3 landmarks, do you see the big island, Sphinx Island there? Okay.
Yep.
Directly across from it, that is the shrine of Wadjet, the big steps that go down into the water.
Yep.
Okay. First building is the Great Vault, the church to Adbar. Next to it, all the dots are your market. The lake, the giant swimming pool, is the Golden Lake full of albino crocodiles. And facing it, the giant building in the center of town is the great mausoleum to Pharasma, where you guys were incarcerated, right? If you head up on the hill, all the estates, here's your fancy part of town. If you head straight towards the desert, right, on the fringes here, this is what they call the Asp district, as in the poisonous snake, because, they come out of the district and keep the populace down. So heading down to the Asp district.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We have lots of, quasi-mentional, unmentional places. But one of note you might know, knowledge local, Matt?
Don't have to be trained, right?
No.
Nope. You have a native 10 though, spacefaring guy.
Yeah. But 20s do exist.
20s do exist. They do exist.
There is my check. 13.
Do you literally?
Natural 20.
Do you literally?
Shut up.
Natural 20.
Do you remember what? Well, hang on. Starting with Matt. Okay. Did you want something safe in the seedy part of town, or do you really want
more safe? I don't want to go to the shadiest place. I just the nicest place in the shady part of town.
Right.
If that makes sense,
Yeah, yeah.
So to me, it's the nicest place in town.
That's true. That you can afford, right? Okay. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but
You're wrong. Sorry.
Sorry. So I almost said you get a force point for that because you broke me up, but it's like, no, wait a minute. So, sorry, knowledge local, Matt.
I got a 13.
Okay. You remember, I mean, it was a long time since you've been here, but you remember the poor part of town, and you remember the Asp district, and you remember a tavern called the Whispering Stone.
Oh yes, the Whispering Stone. It's also pretty close to the entrance of the necropolis, right?
Yep. I've just got it marked here with a
Perfect.
black circle. It's also close to Mender's Row, which is a sort of cheap man's vending market, as it were.
So I'll kind of take the lead. I know exactly the place, my friends. This way, this way. Also, Master Arif, there is some vendors you may be able to find in a place called Mender's Row, and I will show you the way to that as soon as I can.
Okay, now going with R3N, you remember we talked to the gates, let me in, no, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, where can I stay, right? They mentioned the Whispering Stone to you.
I don't remember.
Exactly. But you do have, yeah, so I get, that's, yeah, so why are you rolling? Just to be a dick and pull 20s out of your ass, well, that's fine.
You called it.
Yes, but you don't remember, so you shouldn't roll it if it doesn't apply to you.
I could talk to someone in the street as I walk by them.
Sure.
Excuse me, citizen.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time on The Man from Osirion. No, I gotta tell you. I keep telling you, Frank's from Katapesh. That's not him. We haven't met him yet. The Man from Osirion, Mummy's Mask. Say goodnight, Arif.
And it's good night. I tried, Joe. I tried to get us there. I tried.
I know. Thank you.
Thank you for sitting in. We never asked him for one rule set, but here he is.